We got to talk about Sean O'Brien. Okay. The bad Sean, good Sean Fain. I mean, better Sean. Let's be real. Not so good Sean O'Brien. And Sean O'Brien is the president of the Teamsters. Sean O'Brien famously spoke at the RNC for Donald Trump's RNC and kind of gave a pro-worker message on a very hostile stage, in very hostile terrain. And back then, you could make the case that, okay, he knows there are some Teamsters who are MAGA and voted Trump. He's making this play. He's trying to get, some a little bit of an agreement from the Trump administration to actually do right by workers, even though it's an administration bankrolled by a bunch of oligarchs and who are deeply anti-worker, Elon Musk. Maybe there's something to that, right? He was making a play. But a month into this administration, it is so clear how unserious the Trump administration is about protecting workers' rights, about actually expanding access to unions. They don't care, right? They want to make our workforces even more precarious, even more desperate. They are not serious about any of it, right? They're gutting out the Department of Labor. They are obviously obliterating any cases that Elon and Tesla or SpaceX had before the National Labor Relations Board. They rendered the National Labor Relations Board ineffective, unable to function because they fired one of the top officials on it, and that board can now no longer see cases through, which must be very exciting if you are Amazon or Starbucks or Microsoft or any of the other companies that might have had business before the National Labor Relations Board, right? So this is a deeply anti-worker administration, and that has been borne out by this and more details that I'll get into in a little bit. But here is Sean O'Brien, who straight up on Fox News in the month of our Lord Elon Musk, making the case that he doesn't know whether what Donald Trump is doing is anti-constitutional, whether rescinding the powers of Congress to legislate or to, have the power of the purse, so to speak, or to make good on the contracts that they already promised. He doesn't know whether that's unconstitutional.
The president came in, and he didn't come in subtle, that's for sure. And there's
I've never known him to
there's
be
a lot of
subtle.
controversy on that. Look, we don't want to see anybody get laid off. We don't want to see anybody losing their jobs. But he thinks he's within his right. There are court proceedings, and ultimately the courts are going to decide whether what he's doing is lawful or not. I know that there is a lot of fat in the government he's trimming, and I don't think people are opposed to that. And look, I tell people all the time, let's take a look at the 101st day and where we're at that point in time.
Right.
The president.
I mean, he's like, this is just like, it's like a pig at a roast, just like rubbing his own belly in salt. You know what I mean? They're like, oh no, I'll get myself all rubbed up for you. You sit, you relax. I'm gonna do the dry brine myself. I'll get myself ready for the slaughter. No. I'll prime myself. Don't you worry. I'll take a deep marinade, I will definitely. We got this. We got the butter. We got the salt. Let's go. I prime myself. I mean, that is what he's saying. He is like, we'll see 100 days from now. 100 days from now, the federal workforce is going to be obliterated. Do you stand with your brothers and sisters at these public labor unions or not? Do you stand with them? They're calling on all of labor to stand with them. Public sector workers are calling on all of labor to be in solidarity as they are facing illegal firings and cuts. Do you stand with them? No, you don't. You don't, because you are priming yourself to be slaughtered, to be gobbled up by this anti-worker oligarchy. And you're very excited, as I said on John's show the other night, to be the ones building the robots on Elysium, right? Which is a very good reference, and everyone needs to watch the movie Elysium, if only for Diego Luna cameos, which is why I watch it. But in this same interview, he also says that right to work laws are okay, which is amazing. Amazing. I mean, it's just like, okay, the thing that's undermined the modern labor movement, right to work laws, like you're okay with that? But not only that, there's been a lot of bones made about the idea, well, okay, but Trump's labor secretary is actually kind of good. Maybe Trump's labor secretary will be good. Chavez de Remer, she had her hearing this week, but it was kind of, interestingly, it was the one hearing where Republicans grilled her because they don't like women. They don't like women of color, but they also don't like anyone who's going to stand up for workers. And a lot of people were like, well, maybe, she supports unions. She supports the PRO Act. No, she doesn't. She, in fact, walked that back during her hearing. So let's dig in. Members of the Senate committee grilled Labor Secretary designate Lori Chavez de Remer about her past support of pro-union legislation, her position on raising the federal minimum wage, and her willingness to disagree with President Trump. Democrats sought assurances during the nominee's confirmation hearing that if confirmed, Chavez de Remer would protect private data held by the Department of Labor, again, that's being accessed by Doggy. Republican members of the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Senate Labor and Pensions asked if she's still backed a bill that would have made it easier for workers to unionize, the PRO Act. Union leaders have described Chavez de Remer, a former Republican member of Congress from Oregon and former mayor of a small city on the edge of a liberal-leaning Portland, as a friend of organized labor. But workers' rights advocates questioned whether she would be able to uphold that reputation in an administration that has fired thousands of federal employees. Senator Bill Cassidy, a Republican from Louisiana who chairs the committee, opened the hearing by saying that Trump administration had the opportunity to enact a pro-American agenda. He said business owners were concerned about Chavez de Remer's past support in Congress of the Protecting the Right to Organize Act, the PRO Act. A section of the PRO Act would have overturned the right to work laws that give employees the right to join a union in their workplace, that give employees the right to refuse to join a union in their workplace. In other words, you don't have to join the union even though your workplace is unionized, right? Usually that helps unions where kind of it's a solidarity thing. It's a, we all pay dues. This is a unionized workplace. If you're going to work here, you join the union, because we can't have, it weakens the unions. It weakens our ability to negotiate, to bargain, and our overall working conditions when, let's say, half of the employee base refuses to join the union. That's what a right to work law allows, is for that half of the workforce, or a third or most of it, to say, no, we don't want to join the union. Not most of it. You have to have a majority to even, actually have a union in the first place. She described the proposed law as imperfect, so she's walking away from the PRO Act. When Cassidy asked her if she still supported it, she declined to give a yes or no answer. Quote, "I do not believe the Secretary of Labor should write laws. It would be up to Congress to write the law." Oh, nice one. Vermont Independent Bernie Sanders, the committee's ranking member, asked Chavez de Remer if she would be a rubber stamp for the administration or stand with workers. She said, "If confirmed, my job will be to implement President Trump's policy vision. And my guiding principle will be President Trump's guiding principle, ensuring a level playing field for businesses, unions, and most importantly, the American worker." Yeah, this bitch ain't standing for workers. I'm sorry. My goal is to enact President Trump's policies. What about precedent? What about protecting workers' information? What about the right to organize? What about the no, it's Trump. It's Trump. Pressed by Republican senators, Chavez de Remer said she no longer supported the part of the bill that curtailed the ability of workers in a unionized workplace to opt out of membership. Exactly. So she's walking away from the important part of the PRO Act, which is getting rid of the right to work laws. So now she's like, no, I support right to work. So you no longer support the aspect of the PRO Act that would have overturned states' right to work laws? Senator Rand Paul asked. Yes, sir. So, okay, she's got a very clear answer when saying if she supports right to work laws. What I'm trying to tell you is, if it's that this was Sean O'Brien's little, example of how Donald Trump's actually going to be pro-labor. because you have this woman who used to be pro-labor. She's not. She's walking away from that. If this is what she's saying in the confirmation hearing, imagine what she's going to do once confirmed. Her voting record, again, as a congresswoman during her one term, earned her strong union support. Some political observers surmise that Trump picked her as his labor secretary as a way to appeal to voters who are members or affiliated with labor organizations. She's the daughter of a Teamster member. If confirmed as secretary, Chavez Zaremmer would be in charge of the Department of Labor's nearly 16,000 full-time employees and a proposed budget of $13.9 billion for now in fiscal year 2025. She would set priorities that impact workers' wages, ability to unionize, and health and safety, as well as employers' rights to fire employees. Good God. But it's unclear how much power Chavez Zaremmer would be able to wield as Trump's cabinet moves to slash U.S. government spending and the size of the federal workforce. During his first month in office, the president froze trillions of dollars in federal funding and offered buyouts to most federal workers. I think she'll get confirmed because if she's like, oh, whatever Trump says goes, that's all they need. They need blind loyalty. It's loyalty to him, not to the American people. The answer shouldn't be, how do you serve the president? The answer should be, how do you serve the American people? That's it. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.